David Trigoning, co-lead engineer of KSP1.
Nestor Gomez, head of production at KSP1.
And I'm Jamie Layton, co-lead engineer for KSP1.
Kerbal space program is 10 years old. What are your first thoughts when you hear that?
I'll jump in. It's phenomenal, actually. It feels really amazing to work on a product that's been going for 10 years.
What has been your fondest memory of these last 10 years?
To me, it's about the community, seeing what they've been able to achieve with the game in this time, and a lot of times without using features the way they were supposed to be used. That's always very fun.
Yeah, the creativity that some people use with the things that we as a team introduce is amazing. Yeah. Being able to keep adding stuff to the game as it's been going over 10 years has been really cool as well.
Some of your collaborations have been just incredible. So I'd like to ask, can you walk me through how you were able to make some of those collaborations with NASA and the European Space Agency happen?
The NASA one, it was pretty interesting because it just happened naturally. They had a project and some of the people at NASA knew KSP. They were using it to just throw something together and start planning their ideas. So they reach out to Squad in order to do a collaboration. So that first one happened organically. After that, it was a bit easier because we already knew some people there. So that one was great. And for the ESA one, it was like something more planned. And after years pass by, things are more programmed or scheduled, or more people are involved, a bigger team now with PD. So that one happened smoothly, I would say. Yeah.
What has it meant to you? And you talk about how NASA is using this game, and that's just mind-blowing in itself. What has it meant to you guys that Kerbal Space Program has proven to be such an educational tool?
Yeah, that's one of the great things I think about KSP and being involved with KSP, Kerbal Space Program 1 is, I read about people in the community who've said, I played the game 10 years ago or whatever, and now I'm doing my astrophysics degree and I'm looking to get a job with NASA. And I mean, to me, that's one of the greatest things about KSP is it's such a great educational tool, and it's actually got people at a younger age to think about space, astrophysics, and get involved in actually getting jobs with these space agencies. To me, that's an incredible achievement of the game.
It's quite amazing how the people, I'll say sucked into it is probably not the right word. The people who show interest and the people who get involved in the question and answer that goes on the community forums, for example, it's not targeted at a game in a lot of cases. It's targeted about how does space work and how does space travel work. And all the people on the team are very much nerding out about space and those kind of things all the time. So it's fascinating.
You've built an incredible community of explorers, and they've done amazing things with this game, whether it's through things they've built with the in-game tools or mods or what have you. What are some of your all-time favorite contributions from the Kerbal Space Program community?
There's so many.
I just think about how one of our core pillars when we're developing KSP1 content, and we'll go into KSP2 content too, is making it accessible to modders, making the game accessible as much as possible so that their creativity can just produce whatever they like. There's so much content out there for KSP1. What's my favorites? That's a really hard question. I mean, yeah. One of the wacky ones, I think, are the favorite ones to me, that you just think, well, who would have thought of that? Things like banana for scale. That's probably one of my favorites.
Very, very simple, isn't it? Yeah. And one of the ones that I always remember is one year for April Fools, somebody implemented a fishing game into KSP, and you could fish in the pond at the admin center. Just people's reactions to think of how the heck could this be something in a space game. And yeah, it's just not a space game either in a way, that it's a physics sandbox. So people build stuff, they build robots, they build mechs, they build all sorts of things.
Yeah, I was going to mention that for me, it's probably robotics. Since we released our second DLC, people have and keep amazing us with their creations. They are doing a lot of things that some of them we were expecting, as doing mechs or transformers that actually transform in the game and you can fly with them. Those are great, but there's also some stuff that we never imagined they could do. It's great.
Yeah, somebody built a claw game in KSP. I don't know if you've seen that video. It's like one of those games where it goes and picks up the Kerbal out of a box and drops it out. The time and investment somebody has to do that, and the joy it brings to people when you see it is amazing.
The Flappy Bird simulator, that's also great.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And Kerbal Space Program's community is one that's still growing, and it released in China earlier this year. What were the challenges in releasing the game in China, and did you have to make any changes to the game at all in order to release in that region?
Yes, actually, it was a big challenge. We already had we did a big effort a few years ago in trying to translate the game to several languages, included Chinese. But in order to have an official release approved by the government, we had to do a lot of changes to the game in order to avoid all non-Chinese characters in the game. So yeah, that was a lot of work, and also getting to know the process, how that's managed. So yeah, it was a big effort, but we're very happy we got through it.
You've done a lot with Kerbal Space Program over the last 10 years, but it is impossible to do everything. So what is one thing that you've wanted to do with the game that you just weren't able to get to, whether it's due to time constraints, budget limitations, or what have you?
I mean, during game development, you always start a cycle with a list bigger than what you can actually do. So we always have stuff that we can't, that don't fit in the cycle. So yeah, sometimes we have to make some difficult decisions. But for example, for this release, we are very happy on what's going inside 1.12. We packed a bunch of great features, and I think the players are going to love this one.
And lastly, for me, what would you like to say to the Kerbal Space Program community that has stood by you for the past decade?
It's a great one. I'd start with thank you very much for being involved, for your interest and passion in space and gaming, and for interacting with us as a development team and a development studio. Like to me, the thing that really resonates well with being able to work on this project for so long and is the people that we get to work with and the people we work for in the community. And it's an amazing relationship that we have, and it works really well. I think we've got a product to be very proud of.
I think Dave's summed it up pretty much. It's thank you very much for continuing to support KSP1 over all these years, for your passion and excitement, for your passion, especially, whether it's good or bad, it's great to see. It keeps us motivated, it keeps us going, and we hope that everyone still loves it in another 10 years.
Yep. I would like to thank all the players for all the time they've invested in KSP, and also for pushing to force us to go even further than we thought we could. So that's a great fuel for us to keep us going.
Then one last question I have, Nestor, you kind of touched on this a little bit, but with working with NASA, but do you guys have any interesting stories about maybe something you had in the game that was called something, or a mechanic in the game you had to remove due to like patent reasons, or maybe it was classified information they didn't want out there? Anything fun like that?
No, unfortunately, I don't have any fun stories related to that. For example, with the ESA collaboration, we have the opportunity to work with some of their scientists and be able to ask some questions that were tough to find out. So nothing classified or anything like that, but it was great to be able to collaborate with them. And also by the time of the release, there was also some activities where some of their scientists were able to check the game, to play it with some influencers, and that was also great to see them react to what we built. So that was a great experience.
Yeah, that ESA collaboration is probably one of my fondest memories in a way, because of the, like, we're trying to work out things like the physics of a comet tail and using reference papers and being able to actually interact with real scientists that work for ESA, and get something that in the end that they were sort of, I want to say impressed, I hope it was impressed, but that they were happy that it sort of looked like the real deal, that we'd got something that matched all the things they've been trying to do with the missions they were running.
What Dave said, I was thinking of exactly the same experience. There was feedback from the scientists working with the ESA scientists about the comets, and how they made comment that it looked almost like what they expected it should look like in real life, and that to us was, well, we achieved something. We actually got a comet to look like what they think should look like a comet. So that was pretty.
Charlotte Gotts was the scientist involved.
But yeah, I think back on that and think, well, the pain and the suffering was all worth it, that we went through to get the comments. Getting information, talking to scientists is always fantastic. But yeah, that was great experience.
And then just because I'm purely curious, I mean, Elon Musk has done a lot of stuff with Mars and is very interested in terraforming Mars. Have you guys talked to him? Because, you know, the Kerbals are really cute little things in your game. You guys talked to Elon Musk doing some kind of, I don't know, like DLC with him or anything just fun that would be, you know, kind of humorous on a humorous level?
And no, I don't think we've had that conversations. We actually don't know him. But yeah, I mean, for us, any collaboration that could bring together space exploration companies and the KSP players would be a great opportunity. So I think there will be more collaborations like this in the future within the franchise.
Awesome. I think that's everything. Oz, did you have anything else?
No, that's all I have. This was great. This is a great talk.
Is there anything else you guys can talk about Kerbal Space Program, like that you're working on in the future that players can look forward to? I know you guys just released some DLC, but anything past that?
Well, we can probably talk to you about what we are releasing for our 10th anniversary upgrade. So in this one, we are including a bunch of great features. For example, we are including a create maneuver tool that allows you to more easily create maneuvers for interplanetary transfers. That one, we put a bunch of effort on that one, so we're very excited about that one. We also hearing what the players needed. At some point, someone suggesting doing a better folder management within the game, so you can manage all of the crafts you've built over the years, and we created a tool just for that. So where you are able to browse within your saves and pick whatever rover or ship you've created before and use it. That one we're also very excited about, and a bunch of others, new parts, and probably the best one given the timing is fireworks. Probably not very spacey, but great for celebration. So we included some parts that allow you to fire fireworks in the sky. So we're very excited to see what people are able to create with that one.
Yeah, like you said, see what things people can create that we haven't thought of with things we create.
It's always the case. When things come out and then suddenly the community starts creating things, we go, geez, we never thought of that when we were building this thing. They just come out with such crazy ideas. Another thing in the 10th anniversary celebration is going to be a bunch of surprises in there, and we don't want to say too much more about that, but I guess when this comes out, that'll already have been announced, so there'll be a lot of excitement about that too.
You know, what's something really cool that people did that we didn't think could happen was people used the flags to make windshields for cars.
Wait, okay.
wait, explain that. I don't know about this.
No. So we created, so we have flags on a lot of the parts and just decals, and people wanted, or the community wanted to have like an actual flag part, so you could attach it to the outside of a rocket and you could do whatever you like. So we built something that was sort of structural, that could be used as just as a place to put an image. And then the community figured out that, well, if you make that image transparent, you can see through it. So you've got a glass window. And so they started making cars and and putting windows on everything they could. And yeah, it turned out amazing. Some of the cars that people built with these real windshields and decals and all sorts of stuff are something totally unexpected when you're putting a flag into the game. Yeah.
Another great example of that, actually, also using flags. I saw Minecraft recreation using just flags. So they used like square flags and added texture to all of their size and build a small Minecraft world with it. So, yeah, they can spend a lot of time doing something. Something we usually like a lot is over engineering a solution. That's something very KSP, and our players do that a lot too.
Yeah, there's like the people using the robotic controller to do automation of things as well, and they spend a long time building out like a sequence of things to happen so they can press a button and it does it itself, which is very amazing.